So here we are today. I'm going to explain how to create illustrations and animations with Adobe Illustrator and also with Adobe After Effects. To begin, we have to know that you need these two applications you can find them on the Creative Cloud from Adobe. So after you download it, you have the Illustrator where you can choose the size of your canvas, the size of your layer. So the first thing and also the other application that is Adobe After Effects, where we are going to create the animation. Today we are going to do a simple case that is a tooth that we are going to create a recession and also remove a slight movement. After we are going to edit the final video in the Final Cut. So we are going to go through these three applications, and I hope it is a useful tutorial for you to create this kind of stuff that is going to be helpful for your application, for your presentation. So the first thing is to download the Creative Cloud. What you can do is to choose if you want to download only one or to have access to all the Adobe applications, where you have these not only Illustrator and After Effects, but also you can have the Photoshop. You can also have other applications that may be useful for you. So also you can download the full package, but there is some interesting prices for universities and people that are studying. So you can grab that offer that I think is a very good one. So as you can see, that Creative Cloud, you have a lot of applications that you can choose, but today we are going through Illustrator and also Adobe After Effects. You have the Lightroom also that may be useful for you to also to collect your pictures, for your clinical pictures, but today we are going to stick to Illustrator and After Effects. So we are going to start with Illustrator. We are going to create a new design. So you can choose whatever the size of what you want. For today we are going to choose a conventional size, 920 pixels by 1080 pixels. So you choose the size of your work table, and after you have this selected, so what you need is the picture that you need to as a reference to design on top of this picture to help you during the creation of the illustration. So you just grab the whatever you download from internet, maybe a tooth with gingiva or an implant. Is up to you. So you drag and drop and you just put it on your Illustrator. We're going to put it a little bit bigger, and after putting this picture here, that is going to be our reference to design. So we are going to grab the pencil tool. We can choose the color of the pencil. So we start designing. So you just have to follow what is the shape of the tooth with your pencil. If you need to do some curves, you can do it. You just have to grab the pencil, and as you see, easy one to design these teeth with the pencil tool. So as you can see, inside there is a white color, so you also can choose what is the color that you want inside your illustration. You can also change it afterwards, but yeah, here we are. You can input it transparent and keep designing without no interruption and no disturbance from the layer with the color. So we just end up with our shape, and then as you see, we have a closed shape now. We just close the shape and now it's a total white tooth. So after having this, we have these two layers. One is the photo that we imported, or the design that we imported, and also the other shape, the other layer is the shape that we just created with the pencil tool. So it's very important to control these layers tool and to have clear where these layers are. So now we are going to design the gingiva. As you can see, we do the same, the tool, the pencil tool, and now as we are designing behind the teeth, we just have to create the shape that we want regarding the gingiva. And now we design a square around these teeth. As you can see, it's completely filled with a white color, but afterwards we can go there and fill it with another color that in this case is blue or red, whatever, it is up to you. And now we have two layers and three layers, sorry, but these two layers, this what we just designed, and we have this third layer that is the picture that we imported. As you can see, if we move the layers, we can put it on top or on the bottom if you want the teeth on top. So you just have to put this layer on top, and also now we are going to this is a very important step, because right now you just have to choose the layer, and as you can see, you have to grab and put it as a sequence. After you do that, you will have these layers with a small flag that is red, blue or green, and if you have more layers, the more flags you have with different colors. But it is a very important step that you have to create before we move it to Adobe After Effects. So after that, we have to move these layers that we just created out of the first group. So they have to be completely outside of this group. You can see how we choose these layers and we move it outside of this main group, that is the layer 1. So now we have these two layers, that is our sequence, and we are going to save the project as an Adobe Illustrator file. So we just give it a name and we save it. Well, this is in Spanish, it's tooth tutorial, so we're just going to save it and OK, and we have it saved. So we have it on a desktop, and now we are going to use it in the Adobe After Effects to create an animation with this illustration that we just created, our first illustration. As you can see, I already have this project open, but let's go and start from the very beginning to see how we create a recession and also a movement of the teeth. We give a name to the project, so whatever, you put the name, you choose the name, and now we have to import here, we have to import our illustration. So we are going to grab our illustration and we are going to import it as a composition. So as you can see, there are some more files there, and there is a folder with two layers. These two layers that are Illustrator files, we just drag and drop into our timeline, and in this timeline, as you can see, we have the illustration, but these are two Illustrator files, and we want to stick to these Illustrator files, but in a way that we can also change the vectorial points that we designed during the illustration. So we have now to choose these two layers and create a new shape, vectorial shape, from this illustration. So you go to the layer and you just click create and create a new shape from the vectorial layer. You do this with the two layers, and you see that we have another 2 layers right now with a star, and these are the important one. Now you can remove the other 2 just to not create too much confusion on your timeline. And now you have the 2 layers that are the different layers that you can change with a pencil tool that is also available on the Adobe After Effects. As you can see, we can move these shapes around. This is very important that you check this before you move on to create the illustration. I'm going to resize it, so we have these shapes that we can start work around. So as you can see, this doesn't move. We have the timeline. I'm going back and forth and it doesn't move. If I do the space bar, you see that it doesn't move. It's not animated yet, but I'm going to create an animation. We're going to create a recession. So I just have to grab all the tools, all the features that we have behind each layer. So you can, now you have to do some keyframes. As you see, I'm going to check the keyframes inside the timeline for this layer. So the position, the size, rotation, opacity, and so I'm doing a keyframes. That is my initial point, is this situation that I have right now, and then I move forward my time frame, my key point. So, and now I'm going to create another keyframes, but in a different position. So I move my vectorial shapes towards where I want. As you can see, this is a recession, so I'm going to move this toward this to create a recession. And here we have what is more or less the final situation that we want to represent with our animation. So as you can see now, if I move, as I changes and I put there some keyframes, now the shape is going to move around. So as you can see, we have created our first animation where there is a recession, because we create 2 different keyframes in our timeline that represents this movement. Also, right now we are going to do other useful tip in Adobe After Effects, that is to create some sort of movement. For example, to represent what is a teeth extraction. So we are going to move around our timeline, and we are going to create another keyframes. That is very important to create the keyframes. As you can see, it doesn't move yet, but we just go 2 seconds later, and we are going to move away the teeth. As you can see, this teeth is, we put it there. So we have another keyframe, and as you can see, if you just press the space bar, as you can see, we have the recession and we have also the movement of the teeth. So it's quite easy to create a simple animation. So right now we just have to end up our project. So here we have, so what is the points. So these keyframes is very important to control them. So because this is the basis to create some sort of movements. So now we have to export the file. So we have to add it to the Adobe encoder. That is where we are going to process the final video, and we just have to choose where we want to export the final animation and in which format. We are going to choose H.264, and we're going to export it to the desktop again. and it's going to be our final file, so our final animation, before we move it to the Final Cut, where we are going to create them or to edit the final video, just to give it the final stylish. So we press play, and as you can see down here, is now creating, and is creating the final video. So you can see also what are the final adjustments. You can see how the recession takes place, and also how the tooth extraction is done. And after we have this file exported in this format H.264, that is the format that I use almost always to edit the final video. So we create a new project, and we are going to create now the final edition for our video. So this is Final Cut is a very complete suite, a very complete video edition tool, but I'm going to only explain just the basics to edit a final video with Final Cut. So we don't want to make it too complicated here. So as you can see in the Final Cut, we can see the recession, also the movement and the animation. We just have to cut the project whenever we want, remove the frames that we don't want. Now we are going to create a custom color before our animation. So for example, in this case is you can grab the black one, but afterwards you can change it to white or whatever. You just choose the color. You can customize this intro as you will, and as you can see, now is white. Now you can grab a logo. So just going to my Dropbox, where I have all the logos from Periospot. I just grab it and drop. This is a PNG file. So here we have our logo, and now as you can see, it's okay, but we don't want this Periospot logo to pop up like this. So we are going to use a transition to make it more smooth, the entry of the logo. As you can see, we just put this transition. You can choose, there are a lot of transitions on Final Cut. We just drag and drop the transitions, and that's it. So now we have also a transition between the intro and the animation that we want to smooth. So we just drag and drop again this transition between the video and the Final Cut. So after we have this edition, so we are going to export it. So we just export this file. You go to settings, you choose in which format you want to export, so the size of the file and where you want it to be exported. So this time is going to be to download, so I'm going to export it, and you can see there is the status and now the exporting status of the file. So after the exporting is done, the quick player opens and you can see your final illustration. Of course, you can add music to your animation, whatever. To add music, I really recommend Soundstripe. That is a free you have some free music where you can choose your music, or you can go for an account that I think it's more or less $10 per month, where you can download all that music that you can use on social media without disrespecting the rights. So here we have my illustrations and animations folder, where you can see I have a lot of animations during these years I've been created. Okay, it's time consuming at the beginning, but after you just do some training, you can do it very fast. As you can see, in just 20 minutes we create a simple animation, but all you need is this suite from Creative Cloud from Adobe to get your After Effects and also Adobe Illustrator, and of course you can also use the Lightroom and other applications from Adobe that are very useful. So of course you can buy the applications, or you can choose to buy it for 1 year or monthly. I have these 34 euros per month. I choose this one for universities and college, so I have this Creative Cloud suite that I can load all the applications, also Photoshop or what applications you want to or you need to do your job. So that's it, and from my side it's now complete this tutorial. So as a extra bonus, I'm going to give you a link where you can download the BLT implant that you can, the Straumann BLT, that is an Illustrator file that you can use to start with your animations and illustrations. I'm going to give you, is creating implants is not so easy, okay, so it requires a lot of times, but I'm going to give you this BLT so you can start using it. You can see here we have the BLX implant. That is a more complex implant to design, but I already did it, and I already have this implant design finally. So I'm starting doing some animations with Straumann BLX, but today I'm going to give away the BLT so you can start creating your animation. So thank you for listening, and bye bye.